If your lawyer or consultant ever promises to rid you of all your problems and really promises to thoroughly hide your taxes, I think you should fire that consultant. Fire them. Why fire them? Because your consultant is living in 2015. In 2026, talking about stability is, well, it's just in the realm of the impossible. I would say that flexibility is our new stability. And you know what? For business, this is the best news. For your business, you need to build an architecture that will work under any circumstances. And today we're going to talk about what real business security looks like, not just on paper. My name is Sveta Jeremej. I'm the managing partner of Forma Flaga. We specialize in strategic consulting for international business. We design international business architectures, including jurisdictions, tax residency, banking, and more, so your structure is manageable, secure, and scalable. Let's do an honest audit of what you call security. Historically, CS businesses first sought a safe haven in Cyprus. Then suddenly everyone needed to move to Dubai. Not just move, but relocate the business, family, open accounts, and transfer all funds. Well, you get the idea. And build a massive fortress on that foundation. So what is a fortress in the modern sense? Well, it's a trap. Don't you think so? I mean, a country can change its terms, and overall, everything you've built can collapse, well, literally in a matter of minutes. The secret in this current year, 2026, is precisely not to be stuck in just one spot, a dead end that leads nowhere. Thinking a nominee director will offer you real protection is like hiding keys under a doormat. And thinking, well, nobody knows. Okay, stability is gone. So what can we rely on? Rely on your own system. As they say, find the core within yourself. At our company, Forma Flaga, we identify 3 levels of security for B2B. First is, of course, freedom of movement. It's no secret that now, without a second passport or additional residency permits, your hands are tied. You could lose not just your important assets because you are not able to quickly open bank accounts, but we're also talking about security in general. Second is tax jurisdiction. And here I want to highlight real examples like Dubai right now. Yes, there are major difficulties, but we won't highlight them in our video right now. Nevertheless, if a company was only based in Dubai, it's very difficult now to both withdraw money and open companies in other countries. If you'd anticipated it, as they say, if I'd known where I'd fall, I'd have laid some straw, it's all clear. But if you think through the strategy in advance and calculate risks so that you have companies open in several jurisdictions, in Europe, in Asia, your personal accounts are spread out, across different countries, you have a clear structure for how you'll move, then, of course, you no longer have that problem of what do I do, right? In other words, you've become flexible. Business doesn't stop for a single day. And thirdly, it's more about making sure your system works harmoniously together. Because if we open a company in one jurisdiction and it just doesn't match with another, then it's just an illusion of security, an illusion of control. And it simply won't work that way. Most lawyers just sell pieces of paper. And overall, if you're fine with that situation, go ahead. But we're talking about making sure your assets aren't blocked in 6 months due to some unforeseen circumstances, let's say, until the issues are resolved. When I ask clients at the first consultation, well, suppose tomorrow your main accounts are blocked, or all accounts are blocked and your residency permit isn't renewed. What are you going to do then? It's a rhetorical question because I know what you'll do. But you probably just thought, well, we've been in that situation and overall we opened a company. So what? Managed to open a company in one day? So if you had, for example, planned your path in advance, right? How you'll act, with which jurisdiction, where to go, where the taxes are, what personal accounts, do you need more accounts, any family circumstances, you could somehow predict some timelines and, launch right now. But if the documents are unclear, we need to analyze your financial statements, right, and pull up all sorts of bank documents. Then, of course, there's simply no way to open a company in a couple of days. In other words, a backup structure, let's call it that, is when you have some transactions in another jurisdiction, right? A background story. So it's not like tomorrow you transfer 500,000, but there are already some transactions in the background. You already have even a minimal company open with the same nominee director. Fine, but it already exists. So you won't be checked for months, right? And the bank's compliance won't be checking you for half a year. But no, during a crisis, clients often prefer to pay 5 times more, just as long as they're helped right now, right here, right tomorrow in any jurisdiction because a friend went there, so I went there too. In the end, the system doesn't work. You've spent money? Are you satisfied? Well, maybe so, but it's quite doubtful. A little secret, if you haven't realized. Banks don't like desperate clients who rush in and say, "Save us, help us. We need to open an account right now." Let's summarize. So, if we're talking about the stability of 10 years ago, well, that's just wanting to shift responsibility to how things used to be, to the idea that, well, maybe this will do, right? And maybe it won't. Real security is an architecture where you are in control. If listening to me, you realize that your business is in such a critical zone, then it's probably time to write to me. You don't need advice on which country to choose. Hear me out. We're not about the country, we're about the system that's right for you. Which jurisdiction to open in, where you'll have personal accounts, where to move with your family, how to build it all so it works harmoniously and without being blocked. Subscribe to our channel. Here, we're not talking about residency just to check a box, but about the international structures that you specifically need.